Today I want to give you a little bit of an update on our Dream Shop project, kind of tell you some of the areas we've made progress, though not as much as we'd like. But what I really want to focus on today is something I've been thinking about as I'm going through this project, and that's why do I DIY? I think I've come up with 5 reasons why we try to do a lot of this ourselves. And I think I've got a couple of bonus tips to make your DIY projects go a little bit easier. Let's get started. Don't have anything to show on this one topic, but we do have our insulation decision made. We know now what we're going to be doing for insulation, and I'm going to just kind of leave that with you. Keep you in suspense on that one. We'll have more on that in a little bit. I've made some progress here on the wash bay second floor or mezzanine. I don't know what we're calling it there. No, this is not done. This is not the end of it. We'll put some joists across here. I'll not go into that anymore now. I'll have another episode where we'll explain exactly what's going on there, how I sized that beam, why we need it that size, etc., etc. Just a general update at this point. I've made some progress on the electrical, getting some more of the rough-in wiring done here. All these purple wires are for 3- and 4-way switches. They're the 3 conductor wires, 12-3 with ground. Gonna have some switches down there where we go into the house. We're gonna have 3 ways, or 4 ways actually. Gonna have a switch at the door here and then another switch at the office entrance so that we can turn on and off the same lights from all 3 of those angles. So let's get to the reasons why I DIY and why probably a lot of people DIY. The first one is the obvious. We DIY to save money. But for me, that's not the primary reason. Maybe it is, but it doesn't seem like it is to me. But sometimes you save a lot of money, right? I think electrical is a great example of that. A lot of electrical work is just, basic labor. It doesn't require a lot of skill. Pulling these wires, get them all tucked in, doesn't require a lot of skill. It's just a few moments of skill to try to figure out how to wire the switches or how you want to run this or that. But what you end up doing is you pay an electrician a lot of money to do the menial work mixed in with the expert work. And so that's just an area that I think there's an opportunity for a big savings. It's also not that complicated. There's a lot of great YouTube videos to describe some of the basic wiring available, and so yeah, that's an area that I think it's ripe for saving money, and that's why we're doing most of that ourselves. Now, we chose to do some of the biggest wires, the ones coming in with the new meter. You saw that with an electrician, but that's already cost us a lot of money just for that single portion. So reason number 1 why we do as much as we can DIY is cost savings. That's the one that's obvious to everyone, I think. Reason number 2, it may be somewhat obvious to a lot, but is difficulty of finding contractors. We've had great results. The teams that we've chosen have just been wonderful. We haven't had any issues at all. People have been showing up when they say they're going to show up and doing what they say they are going to do and just doing a great job. We really haven't had any problem with that. But we've got several friends that are in remodeling jobs on their own houses and stuff and just having difficult times. It's a big deal. So finding good contractors is a big challenge. And I'm always nervous about that, as most people are. So reason number 2 why we do DIY is that. Difficulty of finding a contractor. Oh, there's a little bit more on that, and that is that a lot of times a contractor doesn't want to do a small job. It's hard to find somebody to do, just to repair one thing. Maybe back to point number 1, they really charge a lot for that. My third reason is the opportunity to learn something. I think that's going to be most apparent for me in this solar project. We're going to do a lot of that work ourselves. You'll see that we're not going to do it all ourselves. In fact, we have coming up, we're going to get a team to help us with the solar panels on the roof. I'm excited about that. I wasn't looking forward to not only the height, but the steepness of the pitch. So yeah, you got to get help when you got to get help. That's just the way it is. But I can learn something with these DIY projects. A lot of times for me, it's late in the evening. I'm already kind of tired from working through the day. I can sit down to the computer and do some searching and just learn about the upcoming projects. Some examples that you've seen of that is even not on DIY projects, right? For this insulation, I did a lot of research about the different types of insulation and why I wanted to choose what I wanted to choose. And yeah, that's what I do. And so sometimes it's real detailed stuff, like how to wire a 4-way switch when the power is coming into the middle and not to one of the end switches. And next time it's, you know, which type of insulation. But that research and that learning is really fun to me. So that's a big reason. That's reason number 3. The main reason, and I would say that reason number 4 here is the main reason I like to DIY, is that I can do it my way. I can get it done to suit me. And if I can't get it done to suit me, I know that I have exhausted every possibility of doing so, and then I just have to live with it, right? So you're going to say, well, you always just complain about what the contractors do, perhaps, but I just have to show this as an example. If you look here, we've got these ground rods in the ground. I've got bright lime green cables coming out, let's see, to each one here. There's 2, one in and one out, and then there's another ground rod over here. They poked a hole in the side of my shop wall, brand new walls, right? And they poked a hole in there when they could have gone under the wall. It might have taken them another 30 seconds with a different drill bit, because they might have had to go through about this much concrete right on top of some insulation. But as it is, it's going to be above the final concrete level. Okay, final concrete level will be below the steel there. So it'll be sticking out above. And it's lime green, and there's a hole in the wall. So yeah, I wouldn't have done it that way. And in fact, in this case, I will go back and redo it. Again, I'm not unhappy with my electrical contractor. They have been wonderful, very detail-oriented. It's just that at that moment, the thought never occurred to them that I might be sensitive to that, right? So, you know, it's not like there's a problem. I would recommend this contractor to anybody, anytime. So yeah, I don't intend to be complaining, but I have to use an example like that to show you what I mean by this major point number 4. I can do it the way I want to do it. Okay, the final reason, and really one that can never be taken away, is just the feeling of reward, right? I mean, you do the project yourself, then no one can ever take that away from you. Those are the 5 reasons why I like to DIY. I suspect some of you may even have some other reasons, I don't know. But I think that covers my reasoning. But there are reasons that DIY can be quite stressful, right? If you've done much DIY at all or even contemplated it, you've probably encountered a bunch of stress. And I think I've got a couple of tips. These are bonus tips, actually 3 tips that I believe will help make your DIY projects less stressful. The first one is avoid deadlines. What do I mean by that? I mean, don't impose a deadline on yourself, and work with your spouse to help them understand how a deadline on the project increases that stress level. It makes a big difference, right? If I have to get that project done today, then every little thing that goes wrong, or every little thing that just takes longer than I thought is stressful, right? And likewise, this leads to tip number 2. Number 2 is, if you get stumped, stop. If you get stumped, take a break. For me, when I get stuck, don't really know how to proceed, I either cannot make something fit that needs to fit, or perhaps I don't really know how these 2 pieces ought to go together, something like that. I find that I can take a break and I can do a few things. One is just cooling off and thinking about it. And oftentimes that's plenty, right? The second thing I can do is I can go to the internet and see if I can research any other way that I might be able to solve the issue. The third thing is that I can phone a friend, right? I can talk to someone else and say, hey, this is what I'm struggling with. How do you propose that I solve the issue? Now, oftentimes, the friend may not even know hardly what I'm talking about, but they'll throw out a couple of crazy ideas, and those crazy ideas may not be helpful at all, but you know what they do? They spur me to think of, oh, well, maybe I could do this. And oftentimes I build myself a box that I'm unwilling to think outside of, and by taking a break, reconsidering all the options, I'm able to get back at it again with renewed enthusiasm and perhaps a slightly different approach. And that's a huge help. The final tip to reduce stress is expect errors. Okay? Expect failure, expect errors, expect to have to do some things twice, expect to have to perhaps buy extra material because you cut something too short, or perhaps you destroyed something while you were putting it together because you didn't understand that, you know, there was one more screw to take out before you pop the lid off or whatever. Expect that, right? A lot of that can come out of the cost savings, back to reasons why we DIY, number one, right? So even with the extra, cost that you incur through these errors, you're still better off. But even if you're not, no one can take away the learning that you've gained through this experiment, right? So expect that. And if you expect that up front, then when it happens and you have to do something over, it helps you to avoid getting angry. And that's kind of a sub-point to this. Don't get angry. I mean, that's your choice, right? Getting angry about this portion of the project not working is a choice that you make. There's no need for that. It does not help. And so, yeah, it just doesn't work. Even since Dave's been working with me, it's natural for us to have to do things 2, sometimes 3 times, because we get halfway through the project and then we realize, oh my goodness, we forgot this aspect or we forgot that aspect. And so, yeah, we've learned to just, okay, that's just part of it. If it's worth doing twice, my dad would say. And overall, DIY projects are just like financial investments. Sometimes you take a risk and it works, and occasionally you take a risk and it doesn't work. And if you have to call for help, call for help. It's not that big of a deal. But don't be scared to start a project. And using these tips that I've kind of mentioned here, I think it'll be a little less stressful for you. And then you can get the same DIY rewards that I've seen. I hope you found that advice helpful. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim.
For a man's anger does not bring about the righteousness of God.
So let's get to these. Way to go, guys. Who knows what the cat's broke.